Hi everyone, my name is Jade and I'm the owner of Tokyo Dog Designs, and I have officially been enrolled in the Ultimate Etsy course for 2 weeks now. And I have to say there's been such a huge difference in my business in such a short amount of time. And what really made the difference for me when I was shopping around for a program like this was how much information they give you with zero fluff. They don't try to upsell you. They don't try to make their episodes longer with other kind of random information that really isn't relevant to what they're talking about. They are really digestible and to the point. And I really appreciate that because people don't have the time to, sit around for an hour, 2 hours in a row and just watch this, or they have to pause it and come back to it. They have made all these small and short segments that you can, watch them when you're picking up your kids from school, or if you have a break at work, you can watch one of the 4 or 5 minute modules, and it really does get that information to you, and you can take it at your own pace. Now, I have to say, I was one of those people that just powered through it and got it all done, and so that way I could really hit the ground running with my shop. And the results have been so fast. You get this one-on-one time with all of the different coaches, and you type with them and they send you videos, which is so helpful for my learning type, and they go through every step that they want you to work on, and so you can literally watch what they're doing, pause the video, go make those changes, and then come back to the video and keep going with what they're saying. And it is all made specifically for you and your business. It's not a one size fits all. They're really out here to make sure that it is your audience, that it is your product that you're being featured. They're not trying to make you into them and little carbon copies of Dylan. They're making you into your best version of your shop. And that is just such an amazing experience. For somebody that was used to doing kind of in-person events, I did the Comic-Cons and the farmers markets, and I, was successful at that, but I really wanted to do more with my online shop and appeal to a wider audience. I truly thought that I knew who my demographic was, that I knew who my best customer was. But as it turns out, that was a very narrow group of people. And that was a big part of why I wasn't making the headway that I wanted to, is because I hadn't explored fully who my best audience is. And with the help of the coaches and of course all of the modules and things that you go through in the class, it really helps you identify, your own style, what your customers are looking for, what appeals to them, who they're shopping for. And it's not just what I was so focused in on and narrow about of I know that my customers are like this and they're Comic-Con and they do, those things that you think it's oh, well, really, I could be selling to completely different groups of people, different items that I still design that are still a part of my brand, but it's a brand new avenue of people that I now have access to that I would have never thought about before, which, is kind of crazy when you've been in the industry for, as long as I have. I didn't realize how much I didn't know. And like they say, you don't know, you don't know. And I have to say my final favorite part of this is that they have weekly calls with all the different coaches and with Dylan, which, is kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting to see, weekly calls with her. But they're at different times of day. And the best part about it is if you can't attend, yes, they record it. Totally. They got your back on that one. But they also allow you to submit your questions ahead of time. So if you can't attend, because you have a family, you have a full-time job, you have all these obligations that so many artists have, we have to do production. We have to still run a business and, basically go to school at the same time. And you can submit your questions ahead of time so they will get to your questions, and you can watch it when you have time to sit and watch that, or you can watch it piece by piece, as you have spare time in your day. And that's just amazing. I've really not seen anything quite like that before. And really, things are made for us. You don't have to fit into the mold. You can still be creative and yourself and have your own authenticity and brand, and you can still be successful with the models that they provide. So if you are on the fence, if there are things that are kind of getting in your way of oh, I don't know if I have the time, I don't know if I have the budget, I don't know if I can, make this work, what are they going to try and make me into? Really just give it a try. Attend some of the videos that they do, ask your questions and, do your research, get involved. And, watch other videos and testimonials and really find out what we were able to accomplish. And if it's a good fit, which for me, it absolutely was a good fit, you will be successful if you do the steps, if you work with your coaches, if you engage in the program, you know, you will be successful. And no artist deserves to starve. You know, we should be paid what our worth is, and Dylan will help you find that. I hope this was helpful.